Good morning and welcome to another market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader. And before we begin, we'll need to review our risk disclosure. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll start off with the risk disclosure. Okay. Just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Testimonial use of the information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors who assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security should be used for trading. And nothing, again, contained herein is in a solicitation to buy, sell, recommend futures, options, or Forex. And then obviously past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay. So we're going to go now and into our news portal here. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead and share something here before we. Give me a moment here, guys. Overlook something to share.
All right, guys, sorry about that. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me now. All right, let's go ahead and share my news portal, what I meant to do earlier. Okay, let's see if this is going to behave itself. All right, so just kind of reviewing the news that we have scheduled for today. We have Fed member Kashkin speaking. We have some FOMC meetings, meeting minutes that are happening today. Normally we get the EIA report today, but because of the holiday, looks like that's been delayed by a day, so that's not happening until tomorrow. And then we have Vice President Vance speaking. We have some 5-year note yield information coming out. But we do have the FOMC meeting minutes that could definitely impact the markets here today at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So something to be aware of. Certainly if you trade equities, certainly if you trade gold, probably a time that you either want to sit on the sidelines and let the meeting minutes kind of play out before entertaining any sort of trade. Okay. All right, so now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure and the news, we'll go ahead and take a look at the portal here, and we'll start to review the markets. Okay, so there it is. Move this over here to the top. Okay. Let's see if we can maximize this somehow. Let's see. Let's try this one more time. Sorry, guys. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty here, so trying to sort through it as we speak. Okay, let's try this one more time. I'm going to go ahead and launch my platform here. Okay, looks like it's behaving. Let's go ahead and share that screen. All right. Okay, so here we go. Here we are. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the gold market here. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. Looks like it is visible. All right. So here we are. Okay. So let's go ahead and start off with the daily chart and get a sense for what the daily chart is telling us. So you can see here from the visible range volume profile here on the right, we've been in some sort of value range in this market of late. Okay, we've been in some sort of range. A lot of overlapping price. We've had certainly a really strong move leading up to this area of consolidation, but we've been in consolidation now for coming up at least I would say a good month now. Okay, so markets seems to be in range on the higher time frame. Kind of reviewing this on the 4-hour time frame. We're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance range, and you can see the same effect here. You can see that we do remain in some sort of range here in this market. We've been in range again, looking at this from the 21st all the way. We've been in this kind of range. On the top side, say 32.67. Bottom side, 32. Let's see, yeah, 33. Sorry, 33.67 all the way down to 32. 32.88. Okay, we've been in this kind of solid range here in this market for some time. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at the 30-minute chart. We're going to do a little bit of volume analysis here and get a sense for what the market is telling us here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and adjust our ASR tool to London. Okay, New York officially, technically, is not yet open. Okay, so London, we still are in range in London. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here. We're going to start with yesterday's session, Tuesday, and see right about there, and drag it across to the close of Tuesday. Okay, and you can see that at least on the shorter time frame, you can see that we've made some initiative to get above value from yesterday. Okay, so the market participants appear to be somewhat on the bullish side. Okay, the fact that we are above value, it does appear that we do have a lot of overnight bulls in the market. Okay, and now we've come down to this VWAP here, which is going to be relatively important to hold in order to kind of potentially maintain this bullish view in the market. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP to this discussion here for the start of London, which is right about there. So you can see that price has already made it below London. Okay, now is kind of in between the zone between our daily VWAP and our anchored VWAP. So a little bit of I would say a little bit of bearish price action of late here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and extend this line here of value area high. This line is going to be relatively important. I'm going to go ahead and mark that in as blue. Okay, so I would expect that this area here would be an area if buyers remain, this area would be an area of interest. Okay, this 3300 and let's call it 3301. The next area of interest would be this high volume node that we have here on the right, and that would be 3295. So this area in general, okay, would be an area where if we do not reverse away from, I guess, restore this bullish kind of momentum that we've had of late, that these would be the logical areas where we could see buyers potentially stepping into the market. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if I can go ahead and mark this general level. Okay, so I would say that this area right about here, okay, would be a logical area for bulls to reestablish themselves in the market. Okay, so maybe one more leg lower. Okay, before we see a reversal in price. Okay, that's kind of my current view on the gold market. So otherwise, if we continue to hold below the anchor VWAP and break below this daily VWAP, okay, and there that we will continue in this kind of bearish sentiment in the market. Okay. You can see here that the market is in some sort of range, so it makes for quite difficult trading, right? We have to focus in on the extremes of the market. We're going to go ahead and open up the initial balance range. So, initial balance range does appear to be rather tight range that we have, which leads us to believe that there is going to be a break of this initial balance range in some direction. Okay. So the question is which direction. I would say in the short term, I would say in the immediate term, I would say that it most likely will break lower, okay, and that this value area high level will offer maybe an area for price to bounce and reverse in the other direction, okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market. The gold market does appear to be in some sort of range in the higher time frame. A little bit, I would say, maybe a slightly, I guess, bearish in the most recent time frame. But opportunities, I would say, do exist around settlement, around value area high, and this area of point of control. Okay, this high volume node here around 3295. I would expect that we would find some buyers in this market, given the direction that they attempted to take it in the evening. Okay, assuming that price gets down to that level, assuming that we get price below VWAP. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for you for the gold market. Let's go ahead and move into the crude oil market. Okay, looking at the crude oil market, looks like we've got caught a bid here. So we're going to take a look at the daily here and see if we can make some sense of this. Again, similar to the gold market, we are in some sort of lower end of the range. We're basically on the upper end of the range, and we're developing a bullish engulfing, which speaks nicely to maybe a potential move here to the upside. Okay, in this market, we're hovering around the area. A lot of volume has been traded here around 61. Okay, 61 does appear to be an area of interest on both for the buyers and the sellers. Okay. So we do see a fair amount of transaction at this level here. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. We're going to go ahead and turn off the initial balance range here for a moment. We can see that price is kind of hovering around this area of high volume. Okay, so high volume of transactions taking place here around 61.50. Okay. We are looks like we're looking to break some structure here to the left-hand side, assuming that we can get above, say, 62. That could potentially lead to a leg up to 63 and change, maybe as high as 63.75. Okay, so we're at an important level on the 4-hour chart. It'll be interesting to see if we can break and hold with volume above this level here around 61.84. And potentially 62, then that could lead to a move back up to the highs here around 64. Okay, moving down to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Again, we're going to do a little bit of volume analysis here. We're gonna go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here. We're going to take a look at the start of the crude oil on yesterday and into the close, and you can see that there's a fair amount of interest. Okay, not 630. Let's see, got that off by one. There. Okay, so you can see here that we've had a fair amount of interest to the upside in this market. You can see that price came down to the edge of value and reversed away from it. Okay, so we had a nice push outside of value from yesterday. We had a after the close of the New York session, we had price come back to the settlement price and rallied, and now we were in a rally, have rallied since. Okay, price is above our VWAP, starting to break some structure here to the upside. We're starting to break some structure to the left. Okay, so again, there's that 62 level. Okay, that 61.84 level that we mentioned on the 4-hour chart. If we do manage to get above that with some volume, and right now volume does seem to be coming into this market, that we do have a fair chance of maybe exploring maybe some of these highs. But we need to hold. Right, we need to hold above 62. Assuming we can hold above 62, then I would say that it opens the door for a price to explore higher to maybe 62, 67. Let's see what this consolidation range offers here. Yeah, so 62, 67, or maybe up to 62.96, right around that 63 level. Okay, but first order of business is can we hold above this level, because we've been at this level once, twice, now a third time. Is this going to be the swing that causes price to break and accelerate through this area, or are we going to continue? And based on the higher time frame, we can certainly continue in this range. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead now and open up our Anchor VWAP just to get a sense for where we are during London here. So we're going to go ahead and use Anchor VWAP to be our guide. So you can see that the Anchor VWAP is also prices above our Anchor VWAP. We've already starting to exceed the average session range, so we could be in some sort of sustained move here to the upside in crude oil. Okay, we've already broken above and that didn't really pause all that much. We've broken above the 61.66 level, which is the average session range high. We're exploring above our visible range here, again indicating that we could be in a sustained move to the upside. So on the short term, I would say that we are heading into the market, I guess, somewhat bullish in the crude oil market. Obviously, in the higher time frame, we've already kind of established that it's been in range. But assuming that we can close above some of these levels, okay, right now we're getting a little bit of rejection. Assuming that we can close above some of these levels, then that could give us an opportunity here, maybe for an upside move in this market. Okay, so there's our initial balance range that's getting established. Okay, there's our initial balance. So we'll have to wait and see how this initial balance range establishes. I was under the impression that we would have inventory report today, but looks like that is not in the cards, right? So so the market is free to do what it would like today. So there's no reservations into participating in this market. Again, like I normally do, I want to focus in on the level that will support an execution in this market. So right now, nothing to do other than for me to wait for price to establish during this initial balance range, wait for price to decide which direction it wants to move, and then look to participate. Now, if I had to participate at this moment in time, I would say, given this kind of rejection that we're getting, if we do get a break below, then maybe there is a swing. There's a swing maybe down to the VWAP. Okay, that's in store in this market before we continue to the upside. Okay, if we break down through VWAP, we have another level here down below at value area high that could also be supportive. Okay, this value area high here around 60.99, which is our 61 level. Okay, that could be a supportive range as well. So couple of levels, couple of price levels, and then not to overlook the fact that we have point of control here at 61.18. That's also another area where price could potentially gravitate to before it makes another leg higher in this market. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for the crude oil market. It does appear to look a little bit more bullish than it has in quite some time. Okay, so we have to kind of I would say wait for maybe better price location to participate in a long, I would say, somewhere around this anchored VWAP or this point of control. Does seem to be kind of an area of interest here around 61.40. Does seem to be an area of interest to maybe potentially participate in a move to the upside in this market, right? That would be a logical location where I can manage my risk and participate in this leg higher. All right. Moving on to the equities. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the equity markets here. We're going to start off with our favorite market, and that's the NASDAQ. Okay, and we'll go ahead and look at the daily, and you can see the market it seems to be in some sort of rally here. Okay, so we had a nice strong close above, or actually nice strong close above this current candle. Okay, so this kind of created a little bit of a bullish engulfing candle here, and we're right at the edge of this area of structure here. Okay, so assuming that we can get above this level, that could generate some momentum. Okay, since this is a daily level, it could create some momentum to get to the highs here. Okay, now we've reached an area here, right around the high volume nodes. A lot of transactions are taking place at the moment here based on this visible range that I have here on the right hand side, and based on the price candles that I have visible. So market on the daily chart is starting to turn, I would say, a little bit more bullish. I'm seeing that we're starting to create some structure, higher highs and higher lows in this market. Okay, indicating that we might be moving into a market that's turning a bit bullish. Okay. We do have the 22,000 level here. That's still I guess acts as an area of resistance to this market. But we'll take a closer look at those levels as we explore lower on the time frames. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and shut down the initial balance. Market is still about 20 minutes away from opening. You can see here on the 4-hour chart that we're starting to create higher highs and higher lows. Here in this market, we have a developing bullish engulfing candle up against an area where that would otherwise be resistant. So it'll be interesting to see how well this current candle closes up against some of these areas here. Okay, if it closes as strong with some volume, it could lead us to maybe another leg higher here. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of Fibonacci analysis here. Okay, just taking a look at the most recent swing. Okay. It is not out of the question that for this swing to get us all the way up to 21,758, that would be kind of a measured move. Okay, taking this measure and taking this retracement and forecasting exactly where price could go. We certainly are in line to reach 621, 627. Okay, as a possible leg for this current move. All right, let's go ahead now and move down to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We're kind of inside this candle, although we're beginning to look to potentially challenge it. We had some initial rejection away from this area, okay, which could indicate that maybe there are some sellers present in this market that could hold price at this level and possibly lower. We have two solid candles leading up, kind of a little bit of a flag pattern, ascending triangle that's currently being developed in this market. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with my fixed range volume profile here. I'm going to get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's value here. And I suspect that we are above it. Okay. And we are. Okay. Just above it. So you can see that folks are willing to pay a premium to be a part of this market. Okay. Indicating that there's a fair amount of interest to drive this price higher. Okay. So this just before pre-market, okay, we had a nice push through the high end of value from yesterday. Assuming that we can stay above this, level, that could potentially lead to maybe price heading up to the high end of value, the high end of this ASR range at 21,578. Okay. So we're not going to open up the initial balance because initial balance is still not open. We're going to go ahead and open up our anchor VWAP just to get a sense for where London is in all of this. I suspect I know the answer to that question, but we'll go ahead and display it anyway. So you can see the daily VWAP and the anchor VWAP. You see that price is above it. Okay. I would say that given the sloping anchor and daily VWAP, that VWAP obviously presents us an opportunity for participation in this market to the upside. Okay. Right. So any move back down to the VWAP could offer us an opportunity for a continuation move to the upside. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get above. I would say we have kind of have not been able to make a new high of late. All right. 21,538 is our high, but we have not had price close above that level, although we are working our way to that event potentially. Okay. So that's something that to keep in mind here. Okay. We need to keep an eye on this 21,540 level and see if it continues to manage to hold. If it does continue to manage to hold, that could offer us maybe an opportunity, maybe for a slight retracement back down to value here. Okay, revisit this value area high zone, maybe the point of control before we see a leg higher in this market. Okay, not really super keen in participating at the highs in a bullish trade. Okay. Just because I feel like I need to carry a fair amount of risk. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be waiting for the initial balance range to establish. I'm going to be waiting to see if price offers me an opportunity down at this 21,041 or 21,450 and see if it offers me an opportunity there to participate in an upside move in this market. Okay. At these levels, I'm probably more keen to maybe a kind of a mean reversion kind of trade back down to some of these levels. Because I do see a fair amount of strength in this move that we've had to the upside. Okay, our ADX indicator is above 20, and our positive DI is above our negative DI, indicating that there is some bullish momentum underway in this market. All right, let's go ahead now. If there's any questions, so you pause here to see if there's any questions. If not, we'll go ahead and move on to the ES market. Okay, we'll take a look at the ES in the same kind of fashion. We'll take a look and start with the daily. Okay, daily chart. Okay, similar kind of thing. I would say that of the two markets so far, I would say that well, both are equally bullish. We created a little bit of a gap here. Okay, there's a gap that's opened. We have a price has closed in a bullish engulfing kind of way. We have a candle here that's quite strong to the upside. We are coming up to this 6,000 level. Okay, that could be resistant, has been resistant. Okay, for a bit here. Okay, you can see that we came through this level. We've reacted off of this level. So this 6,000 level is going to be a relatively important level for this market, something to be cognizant of. Okay. Otherwise, the market is starting to show signs of bullish price action. All right, moving down to the 4-hour chart. Moving down, looking at the 4-hour chart, you can see that we are starting to begin to staircase our way higher. We have an area here that I'm going to go ahead and draw in as an area of resistance, area of supply here around this 6,000 level. This does appear to be an area of supply, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that in as such. Okay. So that's an area that I'm going to be aware of for maybe a possibility for price to retrace away from that level. Okay, it certainly serves as a target for any potential move that's currently in flight in this market. Okay, moving down to the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart, you can see that we are above VWAP, above settlement. Although we are seeing a fair amount of wicks on the wrong side of this market, indicating there's a fair amount of selling pressure. Okay, we're seeing a little bit of a weakening in the positive DI, indicating that there is some sort of slowness and momentum to the upside in this market. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's value here. So we'll go ahead and drag that across to the close. There it is. So we are unlike the Nasdaq, we have yet to actually close above value. Okay, so from a market strength perspective, the ES does appear to be a little bit weaker. Okay, price has not been able to make it above this 59.42 level. Okay, we did close above it, and we immediately closed back inside it, and we have not been able to close above it since. Now, assuming that we stay at this level, at some point we're going to run out of buyers, and that's going to lead to maybe a move that would try to locate buyers in this market. Okay, so this the inability for price to get above this 59.42 is going to become more and more evident as we continue in the session. Okay, and as long as price is not able to close above 59.42, that opens us up for the possibility of a leg lower. Okay, opens the possibility for a leg lower. We come and maybe explore settlement price again. Maybe we come back down to this 59.30 level, recruit more buyers in order to drive price higher in this market. Okay, let's see. We got ASR in place. The only thing that's remaining to add to this chart is our anchored VWAP. So we're going to see where London has taken this. So London was right about here. Okay, so you can see that there's a lot of overnight bulls in this market. Okay, price is above both our anchor VWAP for London as well as our daily VWAP above settlement. The only thing that is not above is above value. Okay, so that's going to be the remaining question for this market is, can price get above value, and if so, that could lead us to maybe a leg up to at least this ASR high zone at 59.54. Okay, 59.54.50, somewhere along those lines. Okay, all right. So that's kind of what I have for you for the ES. We'll go ahead now and close the session with the Dow. Okay, so we'll take a look at the Dow here. Again, we'll look at the daily chart here. Okay, just looking at the daily chart, you can see again similar to the other markets, but not showing the same amount of strength, I would say, as the other equity markets, right? So we've come up to some daily levels. So far, we've reacted away from it. We did close with a bullish engulfing candle, but we still have not broken any major structure here to the upside. So this 42,975 still remains intact. Okay, and as long as we stay below that, it opens the door for maybe a possibility for price to maybe head lower. Okay, so very important for us to see and witness price getting above this level in order to continue this price structure to the upside. Right now we're below it. It opens the door for maybe a possibility of a leg lower. Okay, as the longer we stay below, say, this 43,000 level. Okay, 43,000 level has been a level that we've come to multiple times here now. 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, each time has generated a sell-off in the market, but what we are seeing, or what we are witnessing, is that the sell-off is not as strong as it has been, right? So we had a relatively strong sell-off away from this area, and now we've come back to this level. We've had a little bit of a sell-off, but not to the same strength, so indicating that there's a fair amount of bullish pressure in this market. All right, moving down to the 4-hour chart. Okay, kind of taking a look and see what the 4-hour chart is telling us. Okay, we are breaking some structure, but I would say, again, similar to the comments I made earlier, it doesn't seem to be a market that's overly strong. Okay, we're still inside this swing. although we are starting to see some signs that price is able to get above some structure, really needs to get above this 42,900 level in order to really, I guess I would say, kind of reestablish itself as its bullish move here. Okay, right now we're still in the middle of the swing. We're still relatively at the mercy of whoever these set of sellers are. As long as price remains inside this swing, it does open the door here, or say around 42,600, 42,800, for maybe a potential area for price to reverse and head lower. Okay, assuming that we get above this 42,900 level, I would say that that would restore what we're seeing here on the left-hand side and offer us maybe a continued move to the upside. But as long as we remain inside the swing, I'm a little bit wary and cautious, and that it could offer something in the way of sellers to potentially step back into this market. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our fixed range volume profile here. We'll go ahead and move down to the 30-minute chart here to start our review. Okay, so you can see here that we're still inside the range of London. We're starting to see a little bit of weakness here. I'm going to go ahead and remove some of my drawings. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile for yesterday and get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's price action here. Okay, so we're going to drag this across to the close here. There we are. So similar view that we've gotten on the ES has exhibited itself in the Dow as well. Okay, you can see that price has not been able to get above value. Okay, indicating that that we are still in balance in this market. Okay, so this again could offer us another potential leg. Okay, to the downside. Right, we're seeing that price is starting to get price is kind of exploring below VWAP. Okay, we made a nice push to the upside, reached settlement, but it was not able to break new highs here. Okay, so indicating that maybe there is a little bit of selling pressure here. Okay, we see that it did establish a little bit of a zone here of resistance to this market. Okay, assuming that we can't break above 42,436. Okay, then this could be the beginnings of maybe a leg lower. Okay, back down to at least 42,300, and maybe potentially beyond. Okay, given that we have FOMC minutes today, that could tell the story as well. All right, let's go ahead now and open up our anchor VWAP and add that to this discussion here. Okay, so there we are. There's our start of the session. You can see that there's a fair amount of bulls in this market. Assuming that we stay above it, then obviously that holds out hope for the bulls to continue its trek to the upside. Okay, but we need to remain above both the daily and the anchor VWAP to really offer that kind of opportunity. Okay, we need to get above 42,440 to reestablish ourselves in this kind of bullish wave that we've been seeing of late. Okay, so headed into the market, I would say of the three equity markets, it does appear that the NASDAQ, we'll take a quick peek through all the markets here, but NASDAQ does appear to be the strongest of the three. Okay, since it's already above value. Okay, the other two markets are still remain below value. So of the three equity markets, NASDAQ does appear to be the strongest. Okay, with FOMC taking place here later this afternoon, I would say that we probably we want to be cautious. Okay, especially as we near that the reporting of those minutes. Okay, but of the three, the NASDAQ does appear to be the strongest of the equity markets. Looking at the gold. Okay, looking at the gold market, now that the initial balance range, I think, has been established. No, not quite, but close. We have about 3 minutes before this initial balance range is established. You can see that the market price has made it below our anchor VWAP and below our daily VWAP. So it looks like there is maybe some downside pressure in this market. Okay, I would say that this level here does look like an attractive level for price to reach, this 3,300 level. Okay, maybe as low as 32.91, but the market does appear to be a little bit on the bearish side. Looking at the crude oil market one last time, you can see that the crude oil market, once I get the right symbol, crude oil, okay, does appear to be, at least on the short term, bullish. Okay, we do see that price is above our ASR. We do see it above both our anchored and our daily VWAPs. So heading into the session, I would say that we are rather bullish in the oil today. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for you guys today. That's kind of what I have for the open to public market review session. Please consider reviewing our various membership levels to I guess, get more frequent updates along these kind of lines. Otherwise, as we close all sessions, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent day trading, and we'll talk again soon.